Welcome to YouTube Mastermind. This is the last mastermind of 2019, and our first mastermind started with Jeremy and Tish. So it's very appropriate that our last mastermind of this year also starts with them, and we're so fortunate to have you. So today we have Movie Community College, woo! With Jeremy and Tish. They started Movie Community College in 2014. And their channel is mainly movie reviews, reaction videos focused on the country of India. Today their channel has 3,316 videos. That is insane. I mean, most channels from 2014 to today, honestly, most channels in that range have maybe 300 to 400 videos. So that is why this is incredible. This is incredible. So you have to ask how in the world they did that. 193,000 subscribers. They have 61 million views. Welcome, our masterminds, Jeremy and Tish.
I want to introduce some people here. I would like Carly to stand up, please. Will you please stand up? Carly is my #1 daughter-in-law. She is a photographer. She works at the Arizona Republic. Yeah, now this guy right here is my son, Joshua Bowling, and he is an award-winning reporter for the Arizona Republic. Your forte is environmental, right? And long form. And I am a flat earther, and I love styrofoam and plastic, which, of course, agitates him a little bit, I think. Joshua. And then I want to introduce Juan Luis. He is my best friend. He's right here. Juan Luis used to be an actor. He was in McDonald's commercials, and I think the janitor in St. Elsewhere. Am I right? Am I right? ER? ER, I was wrong, ER. And then this is my sister, who just got back from the White House. She was invited by the First Lady to help decorate Christmas. Yes. And I'm hoping at some point in time to have her come on our YouTube channel with Tish to talk about her experience. Oh my gosh. So this is kind of a public plea. Thank you all for coming. This is my wife, Tish, and she is my partner on Movie Community College. And I'm Jeremy.
Yes, okay, so I apologize to all of our friends and family for that extended invitation. I had nothing to do with that.
Better to get forgiveness than permission.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so I would like to say, during Sheri's introduction, she mentioned how many views and subscribers and videos we have. So our channel was technically opened, if you will. It was created in September of 2014, but we didn't put up any videos until like December of 2016. And then it was like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So we didn't really officially start Movie Community College until February, well, I guess it was February of 2016.
Yeah.
So December of 2015, we put up a couple of videos, but it was really February of 2016 that we started. So in just under 4 years.
And what I would say about what we're doing, and this kind of came up last time we were here when we were listening to the feedback from the group, is we've kind of really stumbled into a lot of things that we had no idea what it really was. You mentioned last time we were here that we're niching. That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah. I had no idea that was what we were doing at the time, but that's what we were doing, and I find this helpful because it's like, oh, I didn't know that. We focus a lot on India.
Almost exclusively on India.
Yeah, and our channel has grown, but we are reaching kind of a plateau. There are so much new channels coming on. There's so much competition getting into this. India is changing. India for a long time, I think you think of India as kind of a third world nation. You get images of Gandhi kind of with the loincloth walking around, and they're really going through a mass transformation into first world. So a lot of the major cities are becoming what they're calling smart cities. So they're becoming high tech, their timing, their lights, their trains, their whole train system now when you get on the platform is weighing how many people that are on the waiting for a train, and when it hits a certain weight, they start speeding up the train. There's been this big shift, and with this big shift in attention to India, it's just drawn in a lot of foreigners. You see a lot of new reaction channels coming in.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest in India because of how much it is changing. India has about 1.3 billion people in a country that is land-wise much smaller than America. So we've got about a quarter of the population, but we have much more land. In America, we have, a variety of different metropolises. So, Chicago, LA, New York. They have megalopolises.
Yeah,
so
right.
Mumbai has 11 million people. And like a small city.
Yeah, Vizag.
Mesa has like 400,000 people. That's like a village in India. I mean,
there's an area that I like called Vizag, and our Indian friends always say, why do you want to go to that hick town? There's only 2 million people there. And it's like, wow, that's kind of big.
So it is changing, and whereas America had the benefit of kind of growing with our technology through the Industrial Revolution going forward, while our population was increasing in a commensurate way, that's not the case with India. India has a ton of people, and so they are now coming online with all of this technology while they have and so there's a huge interest in this country. But they also have an interest in the outside world.
Yes.
And they love that people love hearing about them and learning about them. So it's really been a very unique experience to get to have interaction and relationships with people that are on the other side of the world. And they're fascinated by us being fascinated by them.
Yes. In really kind of where our channel is, and I think where we're going is we are getting more involved in the politics of India, getting drawn into the different parties. Their Prime Minister, Modi, was just in America. He was in Houston, and 70,000 Indians showed up to see him, and it was the largest gathering for a foreign
leader.
It was even more than the Pope gets when he comes,
So,
and it was a huge
So
deal.
Houston has the largest population of Indian Americans in the country. And they decided that they were going to organize an event called Howdy Modi.
Yes.
Howdy is a word that
Yeah,
Indians
right.
are not familiar
Yeah,
with.
they had no idea what howdy was.
They did not, this is a term that they've
Yeah,
never heard
what
before.
is howdy? Explain howdy.
But if you're from America, particularly if you're from the South or Texas, you know what howdy means. And so this is a way to welcome their Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, to America in this way. Of course, he's been to America before because he's met with President Trump at the White House, and he had previously met with President Obama, and he knows a lot of our politicians. But this was his first time here in this sort of event. So they decided to welcome him, this large Indian American community. Texas is a very conservative state. Houston is not a very conservative city by Texas standards, but that particular grouping of people is very conservative. And so they welcomed him, I think it was just in November. And he had President Trump come to speak, and there were several different American Congress people of different levels and from both parties that were invited to speak as well. And I think they also invited Tulsi Gabbard to speak because she is running for president on the Democratic side, but she's Hindu.
Yeah, she's Hindu.
And so they wanted her to speak as well. She was not able to come, but they did extend the invitation. So in any case, the Howdy Modi event was a huge success, and just another little linkage between our two countries. Our Indian friends are, very keen to remind us that they have the world's largest democracy, and we have the world's oldest.
But you correct them and say
then
we're
I
a
always
republic.
say we're actually a republic.
We're a republic,
and
not
they
a democracy.
technically are a republic as well.
Right.
So.
And so one of the things that has come out of this doing of Indian culture, Indian films, is we were contacted by the government of India. They have this thing that's called Festival of Parat, and Parat is an old word for India. And they are setting up these festivals, and they started in India, they're going to Europe and they're coming to America, and they like to have foreigners come and speak about soft power. And India, I think, is doing a great job of using soft power, of changing the area. Because if you look at where they're at geographically, you have China with the border, and there's a dispute with them constantly. You have Pakistan to the west. You have a lot of conflict, and they are maneuvering through this without forever wars, without all this. They're doing it through soft power, and soft power would be something like, I hate to quote Karl Marx because I feel like such a, and I'm not a big Karl Marx fan, so let me just say that. But he said, if you give me the poets and you give me the musicians, I'll take a generation. And you see the Indian government is really getting involved in that. Like, let's get our narrative out in film, song, and dance. Let's get it out in culture. And there's 1.6 billion of us. We can win a war without fighting or firing a bullet, and you see it happening, and it's kind of amazing. So for our channel, we do movie reviews. We're really getting involved with culture. There's a group called AZ India, which is here, and they probably represent about 77,000 Indians in the Phoenix area. And we're trying to work with them and get more involved into their culture and get more immersed. Now, our channel is, we have a lot of videos, like Sheri said, and what I'm going to tell you about putting up the videos, and I heard a quote from, and you made, who did we hear this quote? We heard this quote from somewhere, and it was, everything you want is on the other side of hard. Like, there's effort to this. There's you have to put the work in. You have to do it.
Can I interject for a second?
No, you can't, because I'm on a roll. I feel it coming.
It's also easier to put up a lot of videos when you don't spend a lot of time.
No, why did you have to bring that up?
Videos. So we don't really edit.
I don't, everything is, yes.
But I have to tell you that I love those videos. I love videos, spontaneous videos like you guys, as there's no editing. You can
Really?
just go off and they do funny stuff.
Yes.
Really?
Because a lot of the videos are really polished. They're
Right.
almost like watching TV.
Right.
Watch TV, why am I on YouTube watching you guys?
Right.
So, I mean.
What you see is what you get.
Yes.
Tune into us.
Well, I'm glad you do, and a lot of our Indian viewers will comment and say the same thing.
Yes.
Because when you watch our competitors, you'll notice the jump cuts in the editing where something went wrong.
Well, I don't like to refer to them as our competitors because our channel really is different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It started off as doing movie reviews and movie trailers, thus the name Movie Community College.
But that's what I wanted to ask. Remind us how you went over to India.
Can I just ask before
Yes.
you?
Oh,
Yes, yes.
get out of the light. Get out of the light.
There. Okay.
Much better. Okay.
Perfect. You were like all.
Because you had
Nice.
projectors on.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
good.
So.
You had your own cell phone with you.
So first, the term Movie Community College, is that your first question? How did we come up with the name?
You could start.
It was him.
It was
This
our
is that
son-
man right there playing Galaga.
It was our
him.
son's idea, yes. You can elaborate.
So I wanted to do a YouTube channel, and at the time we had a camera that was just built into the laptop, and I think maybe it filmed at like 420 or something, and I didn't know how to do anything, and I would bug my son to say, hey, can you edit this? Can you
He was
do
in
this?
college
And he's like, he would do it kind of, you kind of do it, right? But you got to a point where he's like, I'm going to show you one basic trick, and then that's it. And so he showed me one trick, and we were driving somewhere. We were trying to come up with a name for it, and he said you should call it like Movie Community College, because like community college isn't as good as a university, and your editing is terrible. Like your technical skills are terrible.
He said it in a much nicer
yeah,
way.
right.
About levels.
And so what we were going to do is we were going to do comic books, and I was going to teach like Spider-Man 101, 202, 303, and nobody watched really. I mean, nobody watched.
And
I was doing. I found a real cheesy graphic package that the the little built-in camera had that would put up these really dopey, like, you know, bombs exploding or whatever.
Beach balls kind of.
Yeah, whatever it
around.
was.
Yeah.
And I was doing, I think it was an Ip Man trailer. And I had this little graphic that where it would make steam come out my ears.
Right.
And I thought that was the best thing.
Right.
And an Indian said, you should be doing Indian films because you're really funny. And we have a wide range of films that I think that people would enjoy and respond to you about. And I didn't know anything about Indian films. I had no idea about the culture, nothing. And I would go and start looking at Indian trailers, know nothing about the culture. And I came across as very much as the ugly American, where I would start making fun of something because I thought it was a comedy. And you turned out it was not. I was like, ah!
And at the time that he first started doing, you know, Indian trailer reviews and Indian movie reviews, there were really not a lot of American reaction channels at that point.
A couple.
There were just a couple. Americans.
Yes, right.
There were others that were from Pakistan or other countries. But there were not a lot of Americans doing this. And the one guy who was doing it, he's got some connections in Hollywood, and so his channel was just boom, taking off like crazy.
He was a casting agent, and what he would do is he would, as people would come in and say, I want to audition for something, he would say, do you have any kind of reel of you hosting? Because that's something, and they were like, what do you mean? He said, well, why don't you come do trailers with me? Right. We can give you a happy one, be angry, be sad. And he would get this parade of young people coming in. And he's kind of the king of this.
And so Jeremy said, I think you should start being in these videos with me. And I was like,
because I'm not a casting agent, and I was like, I don't
want to do that. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't like having people watch me when I'm eating or reacting to something. And he's like, no, trust me. The longer you do it, you're not even really aware that you're being taped. And it's kind of true. I mean, the longer you do it, you're not really thinking about the camera looking at you. And so we very much did start off with movie trailers and movie reviews. And we found that we really enjoyed a lot of the movies.
Yes.
Indian culture is much different than American culture. And there's still a family aspect to a lot of their movies.
There's a sweetness to it.
Yes, a sweetness and
respect.
There's a lot of respect. Their movies are not as kind of coarse and crude as a lot of American movies can be, and I found myself really drawn to that. Like, wow, this is really nice. You can actually watch this and not worry that there's going to be nudity or you know, they're going to have this random sex scene that's just thrown in. It doesn't happen. Well, in most Indian movies, it's starting to change now.
Yeah.
So as we started progressing in our channel, more and more American reactors were coming online.
There's a lot. There's thousands.
They viewed it as, well, there's this large market out there, and we can make money doing this.
Yeah, right.
We looked at it more like, this is interesting to us, and we don't want to just focus on movies and trailers.
Let's learn about the culture.
Let's learn about their culture. And so that's why this is a long way around the barn to say that's why I don't believe that we're like the other channels.
No,
that they
we're
are
not.
Competitors to us, because most of them do focus exclusively on movies, and we don't. And ours is more.
And people have asked me, like, you need to change the name because you really don't talk a lot about movies anymore. But I tell them, my son named it, and it's, it's my son named it. Like, what am I going to do? Like, it's like getting rid of his puppy or something. I'm not doing that. We're going to keep it. That's fine. No.
He's back there saying, "You never let me have a puppy. What are you talking about?" That's what he's saying.
That's true.
Doing movies and you're more political?
More culture, I would say, Indian culture. Movies come up because there are probably maybe 10 a year that are like, epic that you have to get into. But I'm more, now I find myself more fascinated with their space program, with their military. They train a lot with American Special Forces, and their commando group is really impressive that they're able to slip into places.
Yeah, they have a lot of joint exercises between the American and the Indian military, where we will be over there training, or they will be over here learning some different things. And those videos are really fascinating to watch, the two countries kind of coming together and working.
You're actually learning the language too.
Yeah, namaskaram. Yeah, they will tell you no.
I would not go that
They
far.
would tell you no.
We know a few Hindi words.
Yes.
That's it. We know a few.
And there's like 1,000 dialects.
Yes, they have a lot
And
of different languages.
we spend a lot of time in Hindi, and then our friends in the South are like, "Why don't you ever say anything in Telugu or whatnot?"
Right.
And it's
And
terrible.
Jeremy tried to learn a few Telugu words.
Yes. And what I was told is my Telugu could only be understood by God.
Yeah.
He was the only one who could understand it, because we have no idea what you're saying at all.
So how do you do your research? Is it mostly through Google, like, or have you been to India, or how?
We've never been to
We've never
India.
been to Indiana.
We
Indiana.
actually,
Right. Makes me an Indianian.
we actually have some friends who we will not name, some friends from church that are from India.
Okay.
And so we started learning about India before we actually met them.
Yes.
Through the years, we had limited experience with some Indians in high school. My dad's the first boss that I remember when I was a kid, he was Indian. And so we had some experience and exposure throughout our lives. And when Jeremy was in his late 20s, he worked with a large
I worked
group
with a
Indians.
group of Sikhs, Indians, and there were a couple Muslim Indians, a couple Hindus, but most of them were Sikhs. And I was in my late 20s and really ignorant. And I would ask the Sikhs, like, what are you, like, Muslim terrorists? I don't understand. And they were there, and this is just how gracious and kind the people are. They would say, no, we're Sikhs. Well, what's that? Well, this is different. This is where it comes from. This is what we stand for. This is how we came to be. And they would start, they kind of adopted me. They kind of brought me in, and they would teach me things about their culture, and I always found that fascinating. So then after 9/11 happened, and we had that incident that was kind of by our house at Star Mart. Was that what it was, Star Mart?
I don't remember the name of the gas station, but it was less than a mile.
And I don't know if you guys have been here for a while, if you remember the owner of the gas station was a Sikh, and he was shot. He was murdered in his gas station because the guy thought he was Muslim because of the turban, and it was really kind of a jarring, like, wow, how just completely different, and it's unfortunate.
So to answer your question, we had some exposure through the years, but what we found was when you started actually watching some of the Indian films,
the culture's everywhere.
The culture is everywhere. And then, it's very easy to go, on Twitter or, anything on Google and just start looking up different actors, different actresses, different things about particular cities. And there's a wealth of information, of course. And we also found that a lot of the people who watch our videos, they're very eager to share.
Yes,
about
and
their
they lead us. They lead us and guide us into things.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in a writing called Ramayana, which is kind of a historical account of India's foundation. And there's some disagreement among the Indians. Some say it's completely historical, everything happened. Others say it's mythology. And but it lays the foundation for a lot of Indian culture. And as you sit and study through it, you start picking up things. You start seeing things in the movies now where you're like, oh, that's what that was about. I didn't understand that.
And then we would ask our friends at church, how accurate is this?
Yes.
Is this realistic? And kind of bouncing some things off of them as well. So.
And so now when we come across Indians, I'm always really eager to go talk to them to find out
Jeremy,
let's test the metal.
Yeah,
let's see how much do I
eager.
like, and at first they seem kind of freaked out, like, whoa.
Well, let me explain why. Okay, so we've
Oh,
actually
this is
been
terrible.
in places,
No,
and our
no.
son can attest
No,
to
he
this.
can't.
Where
Can he?
we've been in
Maybe.
places, and Jeremy will recognize that there's a group of Indians, and like the rest of us will be kind of doing whatever we're doing, and Jeremy will literally just be staring
I don't mean to
at them.
stare.
And then they're like, "Why is that random white guy just
I guess I do
staring
stare.
at
I have
us?"
Is he a terrorist?
maybe he's a white
Right.
white terrorist.
White supremacist?
Yeah.
Yes, and then he'll go up and say, I mean no offense by this, but
Yes.
are you Indian? And
Yes.
they'll say, yes, I am. And he's like, do you like movies? And they'll say, yeah. And he's like, have you ever seen Sholay? And they'll say, yeah. Everybody in India has seen Sholay. It's a classic. It's been around since 1975.
It ran in the theater for like 33 years. Yeah, it was just
and
ridiculous.
One of the main actors in Sholay is Amitabh Bachchan. And so then Jeremy will say, you know Amitabh Bachchan? And they'll say, yeah. And he'll say, he follows my wife on Twitter. And they'll go, what?
He does, yeah.
And then they're intrigued.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
Okay,
You have a conversation.
What's going on with that?
And this is all I think is really has served me well because during my day job I do sales and I come across Indians a lot, and it's been really helpful to be able to step in and start talking about what's going on in the cricket league or what's going on in their political scene, and you see the response of like wow, and you sit down and have a conversation with them. They enjoy the effort, I think, because you're making an effort to get to know them. And I really enjoy it because then I'm like, oh, I've been saying that wrong for years. I need to stop that.
Yeah.
So.
What do you do in sales?
I do route sales. I work for a company that sells uniforms and cleaning supplies. So I get a bunch of customers I go to and try to get them to buy more toilet paper, more.
And you do have some Indian customers.
Yes.
And
Yes.
some of your coworkers, when they
Yes.
learn that, will say, well, if we need help with this account that's
Yes.
owned by Indians, can you
Yes.
come help us, since they
And I
know
do.
you?
And I do.
Something that has happened to us since our last time here is we've actually been recognized a couple of times by some people who watch our channel. We were going to the gym one day, and there were some Indians that were there at the gym, and we noticed that they were looking at us, and we thought, okay, maybe they watch our channel, but we're not going to go up and say, hey, do you watch our channel? And so we finished our workout and we were getting ready to leave, and as I'm coming out of the bathroom, I see Jeremy is talking to this one young man, and he's waving. Hi, Rohit, if you're watching. And so he said to Jeremy, because he's younger than us, he calls Jeremy sir and calls me ma'am. And he said, I saw ma'am going to the bathroom. And so I walk up and he recognized us from our channel. Well, just this morning, Jeremy was going to a location to meet somebody who he was auditioning to do some reaction videos for our channel. And a woman came up to Jeremy and said, excuse me, are you from Movie Community College? And he said, I am. And she said, my 9-year-old son watches your channel.
Yeah, and I was like,
because he loves foreign films.
Oh, no.
And can I take a picture of you? He's homesick, and I want to actually text it to him and show him that I met you.
and that was, what came to mind was those new laws. Oh no.
Oh,
No, the COPPA laws.
Yes.
Are you guys all ready for the People's Republic of YouTube? Oh man, so these new laws have come on that, you kind of, when you're uploading a video, if you have a channel, you probably have seen it when you go into the studio. There was a banner that was up about the new laws, about
to New York
complying.
State.
Yeah, complying with, is your content made for children? And then they classified children as 13 and younger. And if so, you have to declare it, and you can either declare like an overall yes and it covers everything, or you get to go through each video, and we got 3,000 of them, to say, no, it's not, no, it's not.
And this was easy for us because our
Because
content
it's
is
not.
not. made for
It's
kids.
not. But what they're really doing is making it harder for people to operate and make money on it. And when I started reading about the laws coming in, I saw a bunch of video about the Lego guys are furious. And I'm like, what's Lego guy got to be mad about? I went and looked at his, at their channels, and they're getting
Oh, crazy.
15 million
Yes.
views on a video
Yeah.
where they're setting up these Lego kits, and because of the new laws, they have to declare that this is made for children, and now they can't monetize it, or they monetize it at a very low rate.
Right.
And you cannot, underneath the new laws, if your content's for children, you can't
Can't allow comments.
you can't even have sponsors. Yes.
Okay, so just to clarify what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
anything that's for kids has a lower monetary value now.
It
Yes.
does. If there's some, and some of them, they can take the monetization completely away. Kind of, yes. I mean, they're going to say, no, this was in response to the lawsuit where they had to pay $171 million
To the state of New York.
because they violated these set of laws. To me, what it looks like is a monetary grab. I mean, because these channels are quite popular. I mean, when you hear everybody, you know, at work we'll bring up, you know, the Ryan the toy kid, you know, and that's, you're just wiping out entire YouTubers.
Yeah.
I think.
So even him?
Oh yeah, he's going to be affected by it.
Yeah, because if the channel is specifically marketed towards kids,
Yes.
or your individual videos on your channel, if they are marketed towards kids who are 13 and under, yes, they're changing the entire structure of how you can have ads run on your channel. Some of them will not have ads at all, and that's how you make money from Google. They won't allow comments on some of those channels.
Well, if you have minors in your video, that you have to turn off the comments, or else they will.
Or even, there's a tab on your channel called Community that really allows you to interact with the people who are viewing your videos. They're setting it up under these COPPA laws where if your videos or your channel are marketed towards 13 and under, they're even taking that Community tab away, so you can't have interaction then with the people who are watching your channel.
Yeah, and that's a shame, and it's just becoming harder and harder. We've come across newer channels that we've been, I don't know why you want to say, what's the word you would say? I wouldn't say mentoring, but trying to help younger channels, newer channels, and they're running into some issues with various things with copyright or something, and share our experience with it. And it's getting more and more difficult to kind of maneuver around it, and it's like
it's getting to the point with a lot of what's going on with the YouTube and Google rules, where if you are a corporate channel, there's a standard for you that's different.
Yeah, for the individual. And so when you say to YouTube, okay, so I want to make sure that I don't violate any of these laws, can you give me guidelines so I can operate in? And YouTube says, no, we can't do that because that's giving you legal advice. We're going to kind of just take it as we go.
And leave it up
And
to
then if
you.
you violate them, they'll take
Yeah, right. Well, you start off with a community warning.
Right.
And we got our community warning on a video.
Right.
And it was a crazy people of Walmart video that I reacted to.
Years ago.
And
It was a
yes, yeah.
3-year-old video.
And it's in the video there were.
Recently there was a...
We recently,
Yeah, the video is 3 years old, but they just hit us on a 3-year-old video.
yes.
So we got the warning, and in the video, these crazy people at Walmart, it was like I don't know, Black Friday or something, and kids got into a fight, or moms got into a fight, and a kid jumped in to help his mom, and they said that's violence towards kids.
And that violates the copyright.
Yeah, right. Here's your warning. If if we see it again, this is what's going to happen.
Wow.
And it was like, and so, and then we deal with a lot of copyright issues because what we do is we take content that we don't own and we react to it.
Yeah, how do you do with that? I know.
We get a lot of them. So if you get 3 copyright strikes in a year, you're booted. And we've gotten well over.
It's not 3 in a year. It's 3 over. You could get 3 at one time. And
Oh yeah,
that's it.
right. That's true. That's true.
just
Right.
3.
Yeah, you can't have 3 going.
So like you can, I know that I see a lot of movie and Korean movies.
Okay.
And a clip, but is that, like they're all over the place. So
Yes.
Are they violating copyrights or is it?
No.
No, it falls underneath fair use.
Okay.
But what you have to do with YouTube, with the People's Republic of YouTube, is you have to have a very precise legal response when you get hit with a copyright strike. So you'll get your takedown notification saying this is a copyright strike, we've taken this video down. Here are your choices. You can email the person who claims that they own the copyright and say, can you please take it down, please?
Which
That
never
never
works.
works.
They never respond.
Or you enter into basically a legal dispute where you do a counter notification and you say, with very precise legalese terms, I appreciate what you're saying, but since we live in America, we're covered underneath fair use.
And you have to give the U.S. code.
And
explain
here's why we think you're wrong. And then YouTube kind of will review it, and then they go back to the person who's issued the strike and say, you have 10 business days to sue them to keep
if
this
you
from
don't,
happening. And then
then
if
the
it
copyright
doesn't,
strike is
then everything reverts back to you. So it becomes this game on our end of like, how quickly can we get appeals in?
Right.
And make sure that you don't have anything hanging on you because, 3 people could show up and be like, here you go, and then you would be out of business.
And what they
What's a
tell you,
what do you say?
fair use.
Fair use? Fair use is,
It's part of the U.S. copyright
Yes.
code, which basically tells
I was
you
gonna say that,
if
yes.
you're using a portion of somebody's copyrighted material for purposes of education or criticism or commentary,
or
satire,
satire.
then you can use it because it's considered fair use.
Yes, you don't need permission.
Right. It's not like, it would be totally different if you just took somebody's movie and you ran on your channel
Yes.
and tried to collect money from that.
Yes.
That's not fair use.
Yes.
But if you're taking a portion of the movie, whether it's a movie trailer or just a clip from the movie or a still photo, let's say,
Yes.
and you're using this as part of a larger package, basically, because we're putting an intro, we're putting an outro, we're talking about it, there's commentary involved in this. And
Sometimes we're,
sometimes
ridiculing it,
right.
sometimes
there's satire,
Yeah.
sometimes it's criticism, and so that's considered fair use. So basically then, what YouTube tells you is from the time that we issue this copyright strike, and you send in your appeal, and then we send it to the claimant who made this copyright claim, once they respond, that's when the 10 to 14 business day clock starts counting.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say from February of 2016, when we first started really doing these videos, until now, we've probably gotten 30 or 40 of these.
It seems like a lot more.
You have to appeal them,
yeah.
because if you don't and you
Yeah.
get 3 at one time, your channel is terminated.
Mhm.
So
And when your channel is terminated, do they allow for any? Can they like bring it back?
They can, but you have,
if you win on appeal, they can.
and you have to write a letter.
Yes.
Like there is no way of like,
They say you got 30 or 40 of them, and then you appealed all
We
of them.
you appeal
every
all
one
of them.
them.
You have to.
What happened? I mean, what?
And
Nobody sues us.
nobody sues us.
And they,
As long as you do the appeal.
yes.
Yes.
But and you have
The
to have
copyright strike goes
have
away.
the appeal
Goes away.
right.
Yeah.
We have a channel that we're friendly with called the Vesser Bunch, and it's a young married couple who's kind of stumbled into India, and they're up in Idaho, and they just got a copyright strike, and emailing back and forth with him on what to do, and he did his counter notification, and they rejected it, and we went back and looked at ours and realized you got to use the precise
Use this
legal.
exact
You just
language.
can't say this is covered underneath fair use.
So how did you know the language to use? Did you have a lawyer?
No, the guy who's in my my genre, like the biggest guy in there, his name's Jabby. He told me once because when I
Viewer?
huh?
No.
He's a viewer or he's a?
He
He has his own channel. He has his own channel, and
the
he's
largest Indian reaction channel.
yeah, and I was having a conversation with him and told him I got my first copyright strike, and he said, "Here, go here, look at this. You know, I had a lawyer look at this because we get them. This is fair use, but it has to be this way. You can't just say fair use."
Right.
So did you say you're getting away from reaction videos now and you're doing something else?
No, we're still reacting, but what has changed is when we first started, it was primarily movie trailers. Now we're reacting to people who maybe do little documentaries on something.
Or like you said, military clips,
Yeah.
history, a lot of different reactions about the smart cities. A lot of people will send
Yeah.
videos about, it's like drone footage of, different things that are going on in a particular city, and we'll react to those sorts of things. A lot of politics.
A lot of politics.
It's what we have found. It started off that most of our copyright strikes came from movies initially. The larger our channel got,
The less
the
the-
fewer
yes.
we got of those.
Yes.
A lot of the Indian movie studios, when they see that you're actually being friendly towards
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
they won't strike you anymore.
Yeah, and even if they
The-
claim it, what they start doing is they'll release the claim because
Yes.
they instead of copyright strike, they can claim it, where then they're going to make all the money
Right.
off
So
of
they
it.
will get the ad revenue, but they won't
Right.
take the video off your
But
channel.
with the movie,
So
I think with Star India got involved, a lot of that changed.
Right, and so what has happened now is the bulk of our copyright strikes are coming from the International Cricket Board,
Yes.
because we were reacting to cricket clips.
Yes, yes,
I mean, that's a huge sport
Yes,
in
it is
India,
huge.
and we started to learn about cricket.
yes.
Because originally we thought, all right, it's a stick and a ball.
Right.
We know about baseball.
Yes.
It's got to be
And
similar.
I don't know what's
And there
going
are
on.
some similarities.
I
but
know
it's a
MS
vastly
Dhoni
different
is great.
And we were finding
He's a
that
player.
this
He's a
was-
player.
Right. It was
All of India
fascinating.
right now just erupted. Ah!
Yes.
Just imagine a billion people went, ah!
They call him Captain Cool, and he really is one of their best cricketers. And so we were really getting into this, and we were doing videos, and they were very popular, and then the cricket board was constantly
Yeah,
striking
yeah.
us. And
Is
we
that
just
because you were monetizing it, or because,
Yes. It's because of
why
everything.
would they do that? You're just promoting it. Really.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. You're
And we do
promoting it.
monetize it, and
Right. But we were not the only ones. So they
No.
were literally just going through YouTube, and who was responding or reacting to cricket clips,
Mm-hmm.
they were giving them copyright strikes because they don't want anybody else having this content out there. They want the exclusive rights to it. Well, the answer to that is you don't have to copyright strike us. You can copyright claim us. So the video can remain, and you can make the money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't do that.
So in that case, you're posting a video purely for entertainment pleasure, your own entertainment pleasure.
And we're giving commentary about it because we're learning about
Right.
it. So
Right, so you're not seeking any monetary gain at that point.
Well, we do. We monetize all of our
if it's
videos.
monetized, yes.
But if they make claim on it, then
Yes.
you don't get to.
That's
No,
right.
no.
They could have all of the monetary gain from that. We would just ask that the video remain on our channel because that drives people to our other videos. that they
Because
can watch.
with the analytics, what the analytics tell us is when somebody comes to movie community college, they don't watch just one video.
Right, they watch.
They watch 2.1 videos. So if they watch that cricket one, they're going to watch a couple more and then probably get mad at something I said and then leave. Maybe, I don't know.
So what we've decided is it's not worth it to us to continue reacting to cricket videos because we're getting copyright strikes, not copyright claims.
Yeah, and it's and so you were talking about the puppet outro that you wanted to show, and that's on a cricket video, and that's why you can't download it because we're in the process of making all those
Yeah.
private. So like how we get to 3,000 videos is I do no editing at all, like we mentioned. And what has kind of evolved since our last time is a group of Indians have come up and said, we'll do stuff for you. So I get intros and outros, and my son's couple tricks that he showed me I've honed down to, and so you get our one take, and then I just plug in a bunch of different intros and outros to make it look like I edited. How many of you are editing videos? I'm going to start in the back. How much time do you spend editing a video? More than an hour?
You know, I used to spend like 3 or 4 hours editing a video, uploading it in the channels, and I was just like, you know what, I do want to proceed with this, but I don't feel like putting so much effort into
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So I would post it without any editing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. Yeah.
That's the spirit. And how much time do you spend editing?
Well-
It takes, I don't even know if I can do one a week.
Yeah, when you don't edit, there's also something else that that we've added since the last time we were here, which is the whiteboard animation videos.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the kind of stuff that I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started doing whiteboard animation as just I get these things from like YouTube. There's like I wouldn't say they're like intake coordinators for us, but they're I don't know. But they'll send me emails about stuff about the channel.
Theme type.
And they were like, you know, hey, this is great, but you should probably do more media-rich videos. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. And so then I Googled it and thought, well, let me figure out how to do this. So I started doing like animation, doing some clips, and then doing whiteboard animation. And then I thought, you know, the other thing that we need to do is I think we need to get more people in. Mm-hmm. And so I was sitting there thinking, like, I would go to friends and say, hey, you want to come do some videos with us? And they would agree to it, and you would say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what I'm going to show you. You know, this is kind of what's behind it. I need you to kind of react this way. And they would say, I don't want to do that. Like, what if I don't like it? I got to be true to me. And I was like, man, that's just not helping me at all. So, and I was sitting there thinking one day, like, how am I going to do this? And I thought of Jabby, because he's a casting agent. And I said, what I need to do is I need to get actors, because actors don't care. They're not going to say, am I right? They're not going to say, I don't know, maybe I won't like it. And so I'm thinking, like, how do you get actors? I have no idea how to do it. So I was at a customer who was telling me they just landed this job in a play. They just got this role in the play, and they've been auditioning. And I said, how do you find out about auditions? And they said, you go to Durant.com. And I said, what? And I went there and I posted a little thing called to Durant, just saying, hey, I have this YouTube channel. This is how many viewers I have. This is how many subscribers I have. You know, does it pay anything? No. Then they were like, well,
initially no.
well, you know, and then they were like, whatever you're doing for their own stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. That's like, so I filled out the thing real quick on a Wednesday. Like, I look back, it's like all these typos, like this, what a crazy man I gotta look like. So I submitted in to Durant, and Durant says on Monday, if it's approved, we'll go live with it. I said, okay, great. And I thought they're gonna kick it back because, you know, it was terrible. It was just like my editing, it was terrible. So I just quickly did it real quick because I wanted to, all right, I got it done. And I get up to do my videos because I get up at 1 in the morning and I start my videos. And I get this email from somebody, I have no idea who they are, saying, do you need somebody to do makeup for you? And I'm not even thinking like they're responding to the ad. I'm like, you know,
He's
because
like, how bad do I look?
yeah, I'm like, okay, listen, I understand 50 is like next year, and you know, when we get some lighting, so maybe I can hide something and get into lighting. And I was like, that's kind of rude, but maybe I do need makeup. I don't know. And then I started getting all these people like, I want to audition. And I was like, really? So this morning,
At the donut shop.
I said, okay, if we're going to do auditions, I'm not going to go drive wherever they are for them to blow me off. And now I drove an hour and it's like nobody showed up. They're going to come to the donut shop by my house at 6 a.m., right? And if they don't show up, I got a quick ride home.
And,
And good coffee.
Hey,
and
right,
it's
so
a great donut shop. They were
And
in the
it was-
Republic.
Dutch Donut Company factory in Mesa. And so while I'm there,
Don't get it.
well, when I was there, this family is watching this, like, so anyways, I go in there and there's a guy sitting there and I start pulling up my stuff and he says, Jeremy? And I said, wait, it's 5:45. How long have you been here? 5:30. He's early. Oh, this is great.
The guy who showed up for the audition.
Yes. So we auditioned him and I told him, okay, we're gonna do some trailers, we're gonna do some videos. Here's what I need. This video is this. Can you be outraged? Can you be happy? Can you find this funny? And it wasn't like the friends that were like, I can't do that. He's like, yes. Do I need to be more funnier? Yes, do it. And then the donut place was like, what's going on? What are you doing? And I explained it to them and they're like, we want to be a sponsor. Can you do this stuff here? And I was like, yes. So it was exciting.
So the most recent video that Jeremy put up today has
Sergio, who is
was
an actor.
auditioning.
Yes.
And Jeremy told him, yes, at the donut shop. And
At the
he told
donut shop.
Sergio, if the Indians like you, then
You're in.
we'll do this again. And the
Yes.
Indians do like Sergio.
And if they don't like you, I'm sorry. I like you, you're a nice guy, but it's up to the Indians. And the Indians liked them a lot. So Sergio is in. So Sergio is in. Sergio, congratulations, you're in, buddy.
In America, we have two main political parties. In India, they have more than 30.
Yes.
And if you think politics are crazy here, you've not seen anything. It is the most entertaining thing.
Yes,
to
it is.
watch.
It
Well,
is.
first off, they
Yes,
don't
yeah.
have
It's
the
entertaining.
type of political system we have.
Right.
So
It's more of a parliament.
Right, they have a parliamentary system. So they have a prime minister and a president, and then there are two houses, kind of like we have the House and the Senate. So they have an upper chamber and a lower chamber like we do. But otherwise, it's similar to Israel or Great Britain or other countries that have a parliamentary system. And
Very
so
good, good
things
job.
are raucous and
Yes.
rowdy
Yes,
and
they're funny.
loud.
It is funny.
Their rallies are hilarious,
Yes.
and there's always somebody who is making some sort of gaffe that is
Yes.
unbelievable.
And it's funny. It's
And
funny.
It's very funny.
Yes.
And our Indian friends, most of them are very political people.
Yes.
Most of them, I would say, are on the conservative side, so they support their current prime minister. There are others that support the
opposition.
If you would refer to their main party, the prime minister, he's with the BJP, that would kind of be like the Republicans
Kind
here.
of.
And
But
their
much
main
more conservative.
rival is called the Congress Party, which is Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah, right. He started
And
that.
they're more akin to the Democrats.
You're right.
Then they have like I said, 30 smaller parties.
Right, they go.
But those two main parties, it's very.
And if you ever watch like the British House of Commons, when you see
kind
there's
of,
stuff, this stuff will
pounding the
happen there,
desk.
and it's a lot of fun. And there's always somebody who's really funny and clever who just roasted everybody, and we have a good time with that.
So most of our viewers kind of fall in line with the BJP party, but there are some that fall in line with the Congress party. And it's actually interesting to interact with all of them because they know that Jeremy and I are very conservative in our political beliefs. But even those who are watching us who are not, it's not acrimonious, it's not you know, rude or anything like that. We respect each other's views.
So since you changed the way we're going with this, did everybody come with you, like all the new?
No.
So
No.
a whole new group of.
Yes.
Yes,
We lost a lot of the, just people who want the movies,
Yeah.
and that's fine. It's safer.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, so I'm curious, are you permanently moving away from the movie reviews, or taking some time out doing some other things that you want to explore or learn about, and then like maybe going back to it when you feel like, hey, I can deal with acclaim, or I can deal with like...
To answer your question, yes. I was telling Juan Luis, my best friend right here, I need to get more behind the scenes on things. What I need to do is I need to find younger people who are going to do reactions. When you look at the reaction world in my niche, to do movie reactions, it's group reactions, it's young, it's not a 50-year-old dude sitting there rocking his opinion about something
I will say there's a caveat to that.
Oh, is there?
Yes, there is a large reaction channel that started earlier this year.
Yes, and they just...
And they're older than we are.
Well,
so they're
that's
not
true.
young.
Yeah.
But they are very connected with Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
And
Guy won
so
an
they
Emmy.
yes, he won an Emmy. He's got all kinds of acting experience. And so their channel is large because they have deep connections in Hollywood. We obviously don't have that.
We don't have that.
So
Juan Luis, who was the janitor in St. Elmo's Fire. No? ER, I'm sorry.
To further expand on Jeremy's answer, it's not that we don't do any movie reviews or trailers, but we're much more selective about the ones that we do.
Like the big one, you do like
the big ones, the epics.
It's going to be a huge
something that's
blockbuster. That's going to be an epic.
A military film.
Military films, yeah. We definitely will still do those. But it's not like in the beginning where we were doing
everything
as much as we possibly could.
Right. To go back into the reaction area, I need
Either
more
Hollywood
Sergios.
connections
I need more Sergios, the
a
young
large
man that I sat with. I think what has happened to us is that there's been so much competition that has entered, and I've niched within a niche. Where I was in Indian films, it was a broad thing, and we've niched within that to be more of cultural, military, politics. So I have lost the young liberal viewer who wants to see any and every Indian film, and what I'm getting more is somebody in their 30s who's ex-military.
And what we have found is there are basically two main groups of reactors when it comes to India.
Yes.
You've got the group that focuses almost exclusively on movies.
Right.
And then there's a smaller group of us who focus more on culture. So like Carolina and Ivana.
Carolina Goswami.
And so for those of us who are in that realm, you'll notice that your channel growth is smaller.
Yeah, slower.
With the people who are focusing almost exclusively on movies. We're okay with that. Because we want our channel to be, we want it to be reflective of what's important to us and what's interesting to us. We're not in this to make $1 million. We don't ask people to donate money to us. A lot of the larger reaction channels,
they have Patreon, and they only do certain things if you hit their
if
Patreon.
you pay money for that,
And
we don't do that.
I kind of feel like, to me, I don't know if you do Patreon, that's your business. I'm not judging. But I look at Patreon for us like how about I just try to earn your business? Like maybe I can try to edit maybe a little bit so you'll watch another video, maybe a little bit.
Our philosophy is if we're going to make money off of it, it's going to be off YouTube ads. It's not
or sponsors.
It's not going to be asking our viewers to send us money.
Yeah.
We don't think that's the right
We've started getting sponsors, which is crazy. We got a soap company, Dr. Squatch Soap, and you'll find a lot of our videos. The Indians have put together a nice little commercial for me as the official bar. So
the Kill a Bee gaming chair.
Yes,
company
yes,
is another
and
sponsor.
I would say for those of you at channels who are looking for sponsors, YouTube has something called FameBit, and FameBit, they own it, and you can see all the ad campaigns of companies who have gone to YouTube and said, we're looking for people to sponsor, and YouTube gives them your analytics, basically your viewers and whatnot, and they have a range from $50 to $40,000 deals, and you kind of type up a little,
It's like a proposal almost.
yes, this is what I'll do for you. I'll do A, B, and C.
We also had a young man named Jacob, who's Lithuanian, who
Yes.
has a channel that's more than double the size of our channel.
Right.
He started a smaller channel, and it's focused exclusively on food videos. We like to do reactions to Indian food videos. And so he reached out to us and asked us, would we be in collaboration with him
Right.
and promote his food videos.
Right.
And he would pay us a certain amount of money to promote these food videos in the hopes that our viewers will then subscribe to his
Yes.
smaller channel, which focuses mostly on India.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So, do you mind if I ask you how you monetize it? Not from ads, not from YouTube, right? Because they
We get money from the ads that run on YouTube. So there's a Google AdSense account that's tied to it. And then we get money off of sponsors where people have said, we're going to pay you this lump sum and give you product, you know, and
If
we
you
want
do
X
videos
amount of
for us.
videos for us. And so then we kind of work out a deal like Jacob that she mentioned, we told him that we will do one of your videos once a week. The Dr. Squatch, you know, I have this intro in that then goes in with all the videos. I threw together, I edited. If you go look at Sergio,
Yes.
and somebody made a comment like, what is that? That was the worst editing ever, take it down. So when I was at Dutch Donuts, I quickly put in just a little intro.
yes.
Like, I got an intro to the intro. It's
It was
turned
kind of the
ridiculous.
Dutch
Yeah,
donut.
and so I'm like, what am I don't have my son to help me with this. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna take a picture of their business card, so I got a great glare on it. I use that, and then I try to do a cheesy, like, hey, come down, and I did this little read for them, and I put it in any video that has Dutch Donuts.
Right.
And hopefully they'll find it charming and not offensive.
But
like the,
to,
yeah.
Yes, to be specific, yes, it is. It's monetized through Google Ads.
And this is something that we talked about last time, and this is what I would like to see, and I apologize for not being available more, is I would like to see us be able to band together to go to somewhere like Talking Stick, or pick a place and say, you know, as Sheri as the mouthpiece, say, hey, listen, we represent X amount of YouTubers who have X amount of views. What kind of deal are you willing to work with us? Where we could have these YouTubers come and do a series of videos and have some kind of, I don't know, profit sharing, some kind of, I don't know, social justice, some kind of,
Not social justice.
no, something. It was something Bernie Sanders would be proud of, that we could take the big guy's money and share it with everybody. Sir, back there, I apologize, you had your hand up, and
Do your copyright issues go away if you don't make any money? If you don't accept ads for your channel?
no, they don't go away. If I didn't
Don't
monetize,
make a dime, they still come after
they'll
you
still
Yes.
do it, yeah.
for
Yes.
using their content
Yes.
without compensation.
Yes,
Right.
they'll still do
They'll
that.
still come after you. And if you don't appeal it,
Yes.
it'll fall off your account in 90 days. The problem is if you get 2 more of those, your channel's terminated.
Right.
So, yeah.
Did you do a video talking about how you made all your videos private because you had a copyright strike? Was it you, huh?
No,
Looked
we
like
did it about this March.
I did all my video private because they're horrible.
I don't know. Horrible. I don't know. You haven't seen Horrible yet. Wait, you see some of my videos.
Some of our old
They've
videos.
gotten a lot better, Kathy.
Yeah, some of our older videos are
Terrible.
a little scary to go watch now. On our channel with comments, there are a lot of trolls. You know, there are always people that just want to say what they
I
wanna
like
say.
trolling the trolls,
I
but
don't-
she
I don't
tells me I
respond.
How do
can't.
you react to the trolls?
I don't respond to them because they're
I like to make fun of them.
right.
But do you?
I used to, but now she does all the
I
comments.
do the comments because it's my opinion that engaging them is pointless.
Yes.
They're looking for attention, and this is my channel. It's not your channel, so you're not going to get attention from me on my channel.
I like to argue with, but I don't anymore. I just
If the comments are blatantly gross, overtly sexual and nasty, I will delete those
Yeah.
and block the person. People know that we're born again Christians. They know that we are conservative. They know, like him or hate him, whatever you think of him, we did vote for Donald Trump. I don't care if you hate Donald Trump. I don't care. You can comment on my channel.
Right.
I'm not going to
Wait,
block
but
you. I'm
it-
not going to delete your comment. If you say things that are hateful about Christianity, you can disagree with it, but if you're going to be hateful,
yeah, we'll delete them and block
and
them.
gross,
Or
that's
sometimes people will be really hateful towards the Hindus.
right.
And will say very nasty things to the Hindus, and
Particularly
we'll stop.
if they're from Pakistan,
Right,
they hate
right.
India.
Yeah, right.
And if you're going to come on our channel and you're going to try to sow discord,
Yeah, we'll
those
get rid of
comments have
them.
got to go too. So I would say,
I mean, if you're just going to make fun of us, that's fine.
right, you can make fun of me, I don't care.
Right.
But I would say probably 85% of the comments that we get, they stay. Whether you like us or not, they stay. But there's a line of respect that we have on our channel, and there will be people that say, well, what about the First Amendment? I have freedom of speech. Well, this is not the government. This is our personal private channel, and so we're the arbiters of what gets to stay.
Just like YouTube's the arbiters. If you want to be on YouTube,
Right.
they can,
Right.
hey, if you want to be here, this is what you got to do.
Right.
I don't like it. I don't know. Whenever what I've noticed is whenever when I pull up my phone and I look at news, whenever there's a YouTuber mentioned, it's never.
It's never
I don't
good.
know, dude.
Yeah.
It's never.
Yeah.
It's like.
So if
It's
that's
always
the
something
same
bad,
guy-
like some kind of like. Ooh, maybe
Any
I guess I
other
don't know.
questions?
What's your takeaway on Coco? Before we close.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's something that you have to be aware of. I think you're going to have to look at your videos and make sure that you've done your due diligence of, is this marketed for kids? And if so, I need to take action, because if you don't, and they step in, what the feds have said is we'll fine you $42,000 per video. If that's the case, if you violated this. And
Take it seriously.
we got 3,000
I mean,
videos, and it's like, oh,
YouTube,
that's a lot. I don't know.
While I think that there are a lot of things that YouTube and Google does simply because they can, this is in response to the fact that a judgment was assessed against them by the state of New York for $175 million. So that's why YouTube is doing this. And so take it seriously and look at your channel and make sure, I mean, common sense will dictate to you, is your channel marketed towards kids or not? Ours is clearly not. If you're doing reviews about children's toys and Legos or kids' music or kids' TV shows, you're clearly going to fall under this competent. So
And those Lego people are mad.
yes, they're very mad.
Big channels, and they're just like,
I'm sorry, say that again?
Like you're talking about channels that are marketing towards,
Yes.
well, and
what if your channel is just suitable for all ages?
I would say no, but lawyer up if you have a question. And here's the rub with it, because when you look at the demographics on YouTube, there is nothing younger than 13. So who are these magical people? I don't.
That part is true. YouTube demographics do start at age 13. When you look at your analytics, they start at 13. Take it seriously.
Yes.
Every single YouTube channel has to certify.
And quit editing. Everybody just quit it. Quit editing.
Okay.
Look super weird.
Then, guy here. All right. Yeah, we'll just put that.
Is this close enough? Or do I need to change?
Yeah. Good. I want to introduce some people here. I would like Carly to stand up, please. Will you please stand up?